Namaste everyone, welcome to Beyond the Headlines with me, Deepti J. Verma. Mountbatten. This name continues to hold relevance for Indians even 75 years after he played the role of the last British Viceroy of India. Mountbatten, the man who gave India away, as is often repeated in the hit Netflix series The Crown. In one of the scenes from the show, King Edward, who abdicated the throne, tells his friends, Mountbatten gave away India and his wife, cuckolded by Nehru. In another scene, Lord Mountbatten is shown talking to Queen Elizabeth about the wild spirit she married. He says he knew it because he was married to one too. Trying to tame them is of no use. There were times in India it was all right under my nose with Nehru of all people, my opposite number. The actor playing Lord Mountbatten says. Now, the affair between Lord Mountbatten's wife Edwina and Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of independent India, is no secret. In an article that called Edwina man-eater, dailymail.co.uk recounted how she fell in love with Nehru and how her promiscuity impacted her children. According to Lady Mountbatten's own daughter, Pamela, and I quote, she found in Panditji the companionship and equality of spirit and intellect that she craved. Each helped overcome loneliness in the other. Their closeness is evident from a lot of correspondence between the two, which is already in the public domain. In one of the letters, for example, Edwina writes, I hate to see you drive away in the morning. You left me with a strange sense of peace. Perhaps I brought you the same. Nehru's reply was, life is a dreary business. Their personal life, however, would hold little relevance for Indians today if it hadn't coincided with one of the most important aspects and time periods of Indian history, a period that continues to color our present politics, economics, and daily life. It's also this aspect, this time period, and the correspondence that took place during this time that's being kept secret at a great price, that too. £600,000 to be precise. According to recent reports, this money has already been spent to keep the correspondence between Lord Mountbatten and his wife from the years corresponding to India's partition between 1947 and 48. An author named Andrew Lowney, who's writing a biography of the Mountbattens, has demanded to see those documents, but the British government wants to prevent the author from accessing the same. According to reports, the UK government fears that if made public, those documents can cause a lot of damage to the relationship between India, Pakistan, and the UK. One of the main things that have come up during a tribunal hearing recently is when Lowney's lawyer stated that Lord Mountbatten's diary entry on July 12, 1947 revealed that he had dinner with British Judge Cyril Radcliffe, the chairman of the Boundary Commission, and Christopher Beaumont, his secretary. But the diary entry from the next day has been redacted by the British government, saying that the details can jeopardize Britain's relationship with India and Pakistan. The lawyer went on to argue how July 12, 1947 was a time period when Mountbatten was not supposed to have any contact with Radcliffe. Similarly, the diary entry of August 6, 1947 has also been redacted. The redaction of the documents raises several questions about Mountbatten's role in India's partition and the subsequent violence that killed thousands and thousands of people. It also raises questions on the conduct and intentions of Nehru and how far his personal attachment with Edwina might have affected India's national interests at the time. In 2012, the University of Southampton purchased the archival material named Broadland's Archive from the Mountbatten family, using public funds of over £2.8 million and the intention of making the papers widely available. However, the university then referred some of the correspondence to the Cabinet Office. In 2019, the Information Commissioner's Office, the ICO, had found in favor of Lowney and had ordered the release of the entire Broadland's archive, which also includes letters from Lady Mountbatten to Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of the newly independent India, consisting almost 33 files from 48 to 60, along with the copies of his letters to her. That decision of the ICO has since been repealed, which is now being heard in the first tier tribunal. According to Lamy, who has spent his life savings on this case, the Cabinet Office have now narrowed the number of exemptions they are seeking to impose, so most of the letters and diaries are available. Though this is a victory after 4 years of campaigning, but there is still a legal bill of £50,000 that he's only been able to pay through crowdfunding, which has continued to go on. He continues to fight, as according to him, it is an important archive that also involves crucial principles of censorship, freedom of information, and abuse of state power. He thinks no university should be blocking public access to archive material of great historical significance which it purchased in the first place using public money. But as Lord Mountbatten belonged to the royal family and this correspondence could contain mentions of the family, so according to the Cabinet Office, protecting the dignity of the Queen and working members of the royal family by protecting their privacy in truly private matters preserves their ability to discharge their duties in their fundamental and central constitutional role. Mountbatten, who was born to the German Battenberg family, became one of the most trusted advisors to the royal family and was a mentor to Prince Charles. He and his wife Edwina were influential figures of London society of the time and later also in India. They both had affairs during their marriage and their personal lives have often been described by historians as messy and complex. He was also chief of the defense staff, head of the army forces in Britain from 1959 to 1965. A Southampton University spokesperson has said 99.8% of the Broadlands archives, which consist of almost 4,500 boxes, is already publicly available and accessed regularly by researchers globally as an invaluable historic resource. It's the 0.2% then that the government is holding back, that too after facing a lot of criticism and spending hundreds and thousands of pounds. What could this 0.2% be? Did Edwina play a role in Indian politics and policy making of the time? Now, some correspondence that came out recently, dating back to July 1952, shows how Nehru was discussing important parts of the political climate during the first general elections of independent India with Edwina in detail. Also, what about Nehru's faith in Lord Mountbatten that continued for years after Indian independence? What was the reason that Nehru let Lord Mountbatten continue on as Governor General of India even when Jinnah refused him the same role in Pakistan? These are some of the questions that can be buried in that 2.2%, and history can unravel itself in time.